So what would you like to comment on the growth of stock exchanges since inception? पिछले 30-40 सालों में स्टॉक एक्सचेंजों का विकास हुआ है, उसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
I think, BSE has been in existence for last 147 years. And it has seen, lot of bulls and bear patterns. And, number of investors kept on adding, but in last 1.5 years, we have seen tremendous growth in terms of number of investors who got registered with BSE, the way the market capitalization has gone up, the way the funds have come into the mutual fund industry, and the way the FIIs have shown interest on the stock exchange. I think this has been an unprecedented year for the stock exchange. We have seen maximum number of companies accessing the capital market, raising almost 2 lakh crore rupees. And if you take all things together, in fact, bonds and other instrument, then it has been more than almost 19 lakh crores of funds have been raised. So I think the growth of the stock exchanges have been stupendous. We have seen the interest of the investors coming, and when I'm talking about investors, it is from all categories. You talk about retail investors, you can talk about HNIs, mutual fund, FIs, all categories of investors have participated in last 2 years. In fact, by March 2020, we have got almost approximately 3 crores or 30 million investors registered with us. But after March 2020 till now, we have added almost 6.5 crores of investors, 65 million investors got added, and today altogether we have got 9.5 crores of investors who have invested through the capital market. And this is besides many other instruments where these investors have also participated. So I think the growth of the stock exchanges has been great. It has contributed to the growth of the nation over the years, though much less talked about, but I think the stock exchanges have contributed the most in the growth of this nation. And with the SME platform coming into play, I think now it is also creating big growth for small and medium enterprises. If both the stock exchanges together, you take almost 10,000 crore rupees of funds have been raised either through IPO or follow-on public offer, or through sale of the shares. Besides that, the market capitalization of both of stock exchanges together have grown to 90,000 crores, and almost 700 to 800 SME got benefited out of this. So I think in total, the capital market growth has been great. And it has contributed to both the growth of the nation and also created huge employment.
So how do you think this upgradation has helped to promoters and investors, other than the raising money? How would you like to link it with the economy growth?
See, first of all, one thing we need to understand that, when the funds are being raised by the promoters, it is being used mostly for the growth of the company. And when, before listing, they are either dependent on their own funds or bank funding. But with equity funding coming into play, the balance sheet becomes more healthy. Capital appreciation happens. Okay, the value of the company gets unlocked. And besides that, there is a huge growth in the company. Okay, this growth in the company creates employment. And when it creates lots of employment, it contributes to the growth of the economy of the nation. So it's very much interlinked. I think that's how the contribution to the economy happens. In fact, last 2 years, one source which has maximum contributed to the growth of the company was the capital market. Capital market helped these companies in raising funds when they found that other sources of funds started drying up, or it is becoming very costly exercise. They approached to the stock exchange, and the stock exchange was also in the bullish phase, and they have started growing their company. In fact, if you see the results of many of these companies, it has been very good.
What do you think this?
And it has also, not only that, it has also helped these companies to come out to the growth, come into the growth trajectory even after getting impacted because of lockdown which got imposed because of the COVID eruption.
What do you think this offer for sale money is also coming back to the economy?
Offer for sale has been lesser, but at least offer for sale, what happens that those investors who have invested into a company long back when it was in the initial phase or initial growth phase, at that point of time, investors have invested into these companies and they were looking for exit. So it is just like rewarding those investors who have invested in the initial phase of the company for their growth and betterment. And ultimately, when the funds goes back to the investors, it opens the funnel for those investors to invest in other companies. So these are interlinked. Okay, when these funds come to them, okay, after this exit, finally they also invest. They don't sit with those money. They also start investing in other assets, and then multiplier effect comes. So whether it's offer for sale or IPO, I think both contributes to the growth of the economy and growth of the nation.
So as a stock,
but having said that, most of the companies which have access to the capital market have raised funds for the growth of the company.
So as a part of stock exchange, what are the challenges before you?
See, as far as I am concerned, I'm the head of SME and startup. The biggest challenge has been the lack of financial literacy, which we are observing in the country. There is, there are so many myths, and therefore it becomes very much difficult for me to bring the SME promoters onto the stock exchange. Over last 10 years, I have met more than 36,000 promoters. And still, those promoters shy away from the capital market. They feel that after listing, they have to do a lot of compliances. So somewhere the fear factor is there as far as SMEs are concerned. And because breaking those barriers many of the times becomes very difficult. So this is the biggest challenge that I have been facing. Besides that, investors also need to look into the SME platform. When I'm talking about investors, I'm talking about mutual funds, QIBs. All those people should also create funds which can invest in this SME company. These funds may be macro funds which should start investing into these SME, and then there will be a huge growth in these small and medium enterprises. In fact, the whole ecosystem will get created, and this will further attract a lot of SME companies to the stock exchange. So I think there is a need to have more funds which should start investing into the SME companies which are coming for listing. And at the same time, we are also creating a lot of awareness, but other stakeholders should also try hard to bring these small and medium enterprises onto the stock exchange.
So how has been the progress of SMEs jumping into main platform, BSE board?
We have seen these SME performing both on the small and medium enterprises as well as onto the main board of the stock exchange. So the results, it's more the results that matters. If the company's results are good, if they are good companies, then investors will automatically jump into this company and there will be growth. we don't see the market capitalization. We are the regulators. We more look into the company's performance. And what I have observed that post listing, the performance of the company improved. And when the performance of the company improves, the investors, also lap into these companies, and they start investing, which further unlock the value of the company. So from a stock exchange perspective, we need to focus on two aspects to see that, yes, there has been a growth into the company, the financial performance is getting better. That we look into. We don't look more into market capitalization. That's the investors' call that need to be taken. And at the same time, our job is to create more and more awareness among the SME promoters, and also talk to the investors to look into the SME platform for investment. So it's like creating a better financial health for the SME promoters and the SME company. At the same time, 3-4 very important factors that the promoters need to understand and which are very positive for this company. Now, listing only not help this company in raising funds, but at the same time, listing also helps in creating visibility, creating brand, creating trust. Okay, these three things happens, and at the same time, it also gives the promoters the bandwidth to retain the best of their employees by giving them ESOPs, and these listed ESOPs have got value. So there are many factors, that comes post listing. Once the investors understands, they can look into the companies. At the same time, when you write that we are a listed company, it gives your vendors and the clients a lot of credibility. They start trusting you. So there are many other factors which are associated once the company get listed, and these things help the company's valuation getting unlocked. So it's not only one-time fundraising. Many of the companies which got listed on our SME platform, in the initial days, their market capitalization was 25 to 30 crores. Today, we are seeing that these companies' market capitalization has grown to 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore, even much more than that, even 1,000, 2,000 crores. So these things happen. And what happens that, a stock exchange also gives you the options to raise further funds. So once the market capitalization has gone up, then also you can raise fund by follow-on public offer or rights issue or by issuing preferential shares. So many factors happens post-listing. So listing is just, 20% of the total things. Okay, but 80% of the things also start happening post-listing. For example, there are many intangible benefits about which I have talked, like, creating visibility. It's a big intangible benefit. Second, creating trust. Again, trust is not something which can be easily, created or easily bought. It happens over the time. Okay, and third, transparency. The transparency, the best, bringing best of the employees, bringing best of the consultants in the company helps the companies further, and this helps the companies in unlocking their value, and thereafter they can raise funds. Maybe after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years also they can raise funds. Not only that, equity also becomes a collateral. Okay, after 5-6 years, if the promoters don't want to dilute their shares further, they can use this as collateral and raise debt on this. So these are the additional benefits about which very less talked about. I keep on talking, but these promoters need to understand that post-listing, there are other 80% benefits that also they will start enjoying.
Bombay Stock Exchange is also a stock for certain investors because it's listed. Very few people know about the revenue model of Bombay Stock Exchange.
No, I think most of the people know about the revenue model, and in the balance sheets, we are very much transparent and open. Anyone, if he didn't understand, anyone, if he or she didn't understand it, they should go through the balance sheet and go through our reports, and they will understand. Finally, a stock exchange is a platform. It's one of the, I think, the first ever fintech organization. Today we are seeing many of these fintech company creating huge valuation, but we are first ever fintech organization which provides plethora of the products. Today you have got equity, derivatives, mutual funds, SMEs, commodities, currency. So you name any instrument, it is available on the stock exchange. And our revenue model is simple, that listing fee, then on the transaction that are happening on the stock exchange, we earn the income, and besides that there are treasury income. So these are the various sources of income that we keep on creating while managing so many companies. So revenue model is very simple, and I think if anyone has got any confusion, they can go through the balance sheet and they can very easily understand.
How do you see the future of exchanges?
No, future is very bright. We are existing since last 147 years. And I think many years to come, this stock exchange will remain. And the stock exchange, the BSE, which the first ever stock exchange in India, has created huge wealth, huge employment in this country. And I think that it will always be recognized. More people will talk about about the contribution of the stock exchange to the growth of the nation. I think it's very less talked about. Most of the times people think that a stock exchange is a place for just speculation and trading. It's not like that. A stock exchange is normally a place for investment. It's a place for creating wealth. It's a place for creating employment. It's a place for contribution to the economy of the country. And from that perspective, I don't think any other organization would have contributed what a stock exchange has, BSE especially, has contributed in the last 147 years.
Generally, I have listened to you. You speak with references to Mahabharata, Ramayana, and other some stories you tell. So can you share some story or?
See, in Mahabharata or Gita, there many things have been talked about. It more talks about the social fabric and honesty, integrity, and at the same time being materialistic. So we need to understand that as a stock exchange, we imbibe all these characters. Okay, we ensure that the companies which are good companies, which are investors friendly companies, which are transparent companies, keeps on flourishing. And which are unable to perform, they will not be looked after by the investors. So equity market is more like, many of the times you can't see, okay, because it's more like a book entry. Everything is in dematerialized form. And so people are unable to understand what the capital market is all about. And I keep on telling that most of the time the intangible assets create more valuation than tangible assets. So your equity is more valuable than anything else, and you must use this equity for the benefits. And then I keep on talking about Krishna, talking about Duryodhan, and talking about Arjun. So Krishna, even both Duryodhan and Pandava, that Kauravas and Pandavas want Krishna to be their side, and therefore both of them went to them and requested them that why don't you take our side. So Krishna finally told Duryodhan and Arjun that okay, tomorrow morning you come, and whomever I see first, I'll be in their side. So Duryodhan reached early, and he was sitting near the head. And later on, Arjun came and he sat near the lake. So obviously, when Krishna woke up, he saw Arjun, because Duryodhana was sitting near the head. So he was unable to see him, and he saw Arjun, and he finally told Duryodhana that, see, when I woke up, Arjun was sitting in front, and so I saw him first. And later on, when Arjun told me that you are also here, then I have been able to see you. So I have to be with the Pandav. That's what I have promised. So Duryodhana said, no, 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 I have come first, and you have intentionally woken up like that so that you should see, Arjun first, and thereafter me. So you have to fight, but because I have come early, so you have to be with us. So Krishna was knowing that Duryodhana is not a visionary warrior, whereas Arjun is a modest and very visionary person and with lots of strength. So, he, told Duryodhana that, see, anyhow, I am your relative. I am relative of both Kauravas and Pandavas. And see, I have decided not to use arms and ammunition in my fight. I will be just a, a person sitting on the chariot, and will not, and drive the chariot and will not fight. So he said that, but he offered Duryodhana that, okay, all my army, if you want, I can give you. They will fight for you. So you decide whether you want an armed man, or you want the full army, which is very big one. So Duryodhana thought that, why should I take him? He will anyhow not going to fight. He will only talk. And talking people are hardly required. A strategist or consultant is hardly required. Why should I require him? And he agreed. But if you see the whole Mahabharata, it was Krishna who was even sitting, keep on creating various strategies for Pandava, and many of the times keep on guiding Arjun what he should do and what he should not do. And that became the very big reason for the Pandavas to own the Mahabharata. So why I have told you this story, that most of the time this army was nothing. It's a tangible assets like plants, land, building, machinery. What you will get out of it, you will create a business and maybe 5 to 7% net profit you will make. But how to capitalize them? Okay, but many of the times what we feel that the land, building, plant, machinery, everything is worth 100 crores, 150 crores. So I'm that value. But this value you will get the value only when you liquidate these assets. Otherwise, it's of use for only production, nothing else. And even when you go to bank will collateralize it and give it loan. And after they gave the loan, you have given the collateral. So finally, that property also doesn't belong to you. So these are the tangible assets which is not going to create a huge wealth for you. Okay, but it's tangible. It's like Duryodhana, that army. But if you want to really create valuation, get yourself listed, unlock the value. You can't see equity. It's in demat form. But that is the one thing that has created a value of 18 lakh crore for Reliance, that kept on giving money to Reliance or Infosys for their growth and expansion. And that's how promoters also have created wealth for themselves. So these are intangible things. These are like Krishna, okay, which will make you own the business, okay, which will help you in creating a huge empire for your company, which will help in creating a huge employment, huge business growth. And that's why your equity, which is Krishna, that you need to, explore, that you need to use, and that is the only instrument which can make you win everything, which will make you help in creating a big business empire. And we have seen it not only in India, but across the world. So this is the one example that I have given you, and most of the places I give this example so that promoters should understand and explore this asset for their growth.
You have met 36,000 investors, promoters.
Promoters. Yeah.
So what should be your message to take away their fear?
My message is that already you have been doing business and you are doing a lot of regulatory compliances. But those things, by doing those things, you have to keep on paying various taxes, and you have also you have to also use your own resources for doing all these activities. But those compliances are going to take money from the system in form of tax. Now there are second thing, which is stock exchange. Here you have to do again compliances, but for SME platform we have relaxed the compliances from quarterly basis to half yearly basis. Okay, but by doing this small compliances, what you are going to do, you are going to unlock the value of the company and raise funds at various intervals of time whenever it is required. So there is a huge difference in doing compliances in the unlisted territory and doing a little bit more compliances in the listed territory. Unlisted territory compliances takes the money out of the system. Doing regulatory compliances post-listing is going to create huge wealth and also help the promoters in raising funds at regular intervals of time. So please get yourself listed onto the stock exchange. If you are a large corporate, then you can access to the main board of. If you are a small business house, SME platform is there. You are welcome. We will give you red carpet welcome. We will also help you in the growth as long as you are under the laws of the land and managing the the guidelines of the stock exchange. Okay, so we are going to help you, and that's how we have seen the growth of these companies. BSE SME market capitalization has already grown above 50,000 crores. So these are the testament of the growth of the companies post-listing. So I think the companies, and I keep on requesting these companies, please come and get yourself listed onto the SME platform.
And for the startups, how would you like to
for the startups also? Yeah, for the startups also, we have started this startup platform, and the guidelines are very simple, that they need to be in technology sector. They need to be in existence for 2 years. They should have positive net worth, and they should be registered as a startup with DPIIT. So if these 4 guidelines are met, then these startups can get listed on our startup platform. Already 14 startups are listed, and I am expecting many other startups to get listed. On the SME platform, again, their guidelines we have kept simple. We are saying that it needs to be, the SME needs to be in existence for at least 3 years. Either as a form, proprietorship or partnership or limited company. In either way, if they are in existence for 3 years, and out of the last 3 years, in any one of the year, if they have got operating profit with net tangible asset of 1.5 crores, they can get listed on the SME platform, the stock exchange.
Now my last question: how this stock exchanges are providing the safety to investors? A safe place to invest?
No, see, we are telling the promoters to be transparent and keep on filing the all the documents, papers, their results on time, and so that investors should understand about the company, and only based on that they take their prudent decision.
So nice talking to you. You have given a lot of information.
Thank you, Sethi Saab. It's a pleasure to interact with you.